Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is part of our tutorial series on beginner questions for interview of C++. So far we have seen some basic concept of OOP and POP. Then we discussed data types that are available in C++, and then we discussed some reference operator. So in this video we will see our fifth question of the series, which is, what do you mean by call by reference or call by value? Now, two key concepts grabbed from here are call by value and call by reference. In this programming language, mean in C++, to call function we have two methods. First one is call by value and second one is call by reference. So let us discuss the difference between two of these. Call by value, a copy of variable is passed. The variable which we want to pass by value, a copy of that variable is passed to the function as argument. But in call by reference, a variable is passed fundamentally. Calling a function by sending the values by copying variables. Calling the function by sending addresses. Now it is the key difference between call by value and call by reference. In call by reference, we send the address of the variable, means the memory address on which that variable is stored, and the changes made in the function are never reflected. Changes made in the function are never reflected outside the function on the variable. In short, the original value never altered by call by value. The changes made in the function can be seen outside the function on pass function. In short, the original values is altered by call in reference. Pass actual and formal parameters are stored in different memory locations, therefore making call by value little more memory insufficient. This is the drawback of call by value. Pass actual and formal parameters are stored in the same memory location, therefore call by reference is little more memory efficient. Let us discuss this call by value and call by reference concept in detail. Function can be invoked in two ways: call by value, call by references. These two ways are generally different by the type of value passed them as a parameter. The parameter passed to function are actually parameter, where the parameter received by the function are called formal parameters. So first we will see call by value. In this parameter passing method, values of actual parameter are copied to the function formal's parameter, and the two types of parameter are stored in different memory locations. So change made inside a function are not reflected in the actual parameter of the caller. Now call by reference, both actual and formal parameter refers to the same location, so any changes made inside the function are actually reflected in the parameter of color. So here's the code example of both. Now first we will see an example of call by value. So I have already coded all the program. So let we discuss the line by line. First of all, we have our IO stream. Then we have this void swap x function. This is basically function prototype, or you can say it is the function call. Now there are two ways for defining a function in C++. You can either declare and define the function in single code line on top of main function, or you can define the function prototype above this main function and then define the function declaration below this main function. So here we have defined our prototype of void swap x, and then we have our main function. Inside this main function we have two variables. First one is integer a whose value is 10, and second one is integer b whose value is 20. Then we call our function swap x and pass this value and pass these variable by their values. So then we will print this a and b. So below we have our swap x. Here we have two. Here we are expecting two parameters, x and y, of integer type, and we are simply swiping the two parameter which we are getting in function call, and then we are swapping these integers, and then we are printing their values. First we will print their value in swap x function, and then we will print their values in main function. So you can see at first when the x and y was inside the swap x function, their values was x was 20 and y was 10. But when the control flow returns to this main function, let me just scroll it down here. Then after this function call, control flow return back to the main function, and it goes to 14th line, and then it print the value of a and b that was defined inside this main function, and you can see their values are unseen. So when we pass by value, we do not affect the original variable that we are passing. Now we will see a simple code example for our call by reference method. So here is the example of call by reference. We have our same main function. We have our function prototype, and you can see here we are using these pointer integer, which mean we are expecting and reference to a variable. So inside of main we have our previous variable a and b having value 10 and 20. Then we are passing by reference these variable to this swap x function. So what it will do, it will accept these references as these variable as references, and then if we will perform our same swap x function, then we will print this inside the our void swap function, and then after that we will also print this in our main function. So let's just run this code. Sorry, showing me some error. Let's run it again. So yeah, you can see here the value of x and y inside the swap x function is 20 and 10, and then the value of a and b inside the main function is same. So you can see it has changed the value of variable inside the main. So that's the power of calling by reference. We can change the value of variable that we are passing as a reference to a function. Now let's see summary of these two. Thus the value of a and b remain unchanged even after the exchanging the value of x and y. But on the other side, when we are calling by reference, the actual value of a and b gets changed after changing the value of x and y. In call by values, we cannot alter the values. Call by values, we cannot alter the values of actual variable. In call by reference, we can alter. Yes, we can alter the values of variable through the function call. Values of variable are passed by simple techniques. Pointer variable are necessary to define to store address value of variable. So that's all you should know about call by reference and call by values. Now we'll move on to our next question. Define token in C++. Token is the smallest individual element of a program that understood by compiler. Token comprises the following. First one, we have keyword that contain a special meaning to the compiler. Like we have keyword of class. When we want to define a class, we use the keyword of class. And second, we have identifiers that hold a unique value or identity. Next, we have constant that never change their value throughout the program. So if you want to define a value that will remain constant throughout the program execution, no matter what the conditions are, you define that variable by using constant keyword. Yeah, constant is also a keyword. For example, you want to define the value of pi inside your program, so that will be a constant value, so you define that in a constant variable. And they can even change if you use them as a reference to a function. Compiler will throw us an error because that's a constant variable and cannot be changed. Then we have string. It's a data type, you can say, that contain the homogeneous sequence of data. Then we have our special symbols. They have some special meaning and cannot be used for another purpose, like the bracket symbols, and then we have this multiplication, equal, and last we have our operator who perform the operation or operands. Operators, you can say, are like plus is an operator, minus is an operator, divide, percentage, modulus is an operator, or we have our multiplication operator. So yeah. Now let me see some token examples. First we will see some keyword example. So we have double, auto, integer, struct, switch, long, else, break, case, enum, register, type, union, return, and all of these are example of keywords. Then what are the identifiers? Identifiers are used general terminology for the naming of variables, function, and arrays. So there are some terminologies for defining a variable or array or a function name. So identifier name must be differ in spelling and case from other any keyword. You can use keyword as identifiers. They are reserved for special use only.